Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are talking about the 3 successful traits of successful gay men. This really applies to anybody, honestly. Like, it's Pride Month, so I was like, gay. But yeah, these traits definitely apply to anybody. I'm gonna include like a bonus trait at the end that I think is like a really good little trick for dating, for anything. But essentially, I have known some incredibly successful gay men. Some of them are in their 20s, some of them are in their like 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And getting to know them has been really cool because particularly they have been faced with a set of challenges throughout their lives that just frankly the general population has not had to deal with. They have dealt with prejudice and being put in a box, discrimination. They've dealt with medical problems. There's all kinds of things that have happened to them, and yet they still remain positive. They still remain amazing people and incredibly successful, which is kind of what this video is about. So I'm going to kind of boil down the 3 core traits that I think really give them the leg up, a step above, that, contribute to their success, contribute to them, really enjoying their life. Because I guess that's kind of what success is. I'm not basing success as like, they're millionaires or, some of them are, but I'm not basing this off of any particular metric of success. It's kind of just a whole well-rounded, have you had a good life? Have you impacted people in a positive way? Have you done well in your career, in your relationships, etc. So without any more talking, we're going to get straight into it. The first trait is a passion or a drive. Now, this gets conflated with the idea of like going to university, getting a good degree, working up the ladder, paying your dues, following the corporate pipeline, essentially. And I don't really mean that. When I talk about being passionate or driven, these people tend to always have goals. These men have like a goal in mind, a specific thing, whether it is financial independence, having a family, perfecting a skill, being creative, being an artist, being a creator of content in any capacity. These people have just this very specific drive and they're very focused on it. It might not be all encompassing, but if they're a fitness influencer, they are going to the gym, they are putting in those hours, they are studying nutrition, they are making sure that their body is moving the way it should be, and they're doing that. If they are like a corporate juggernaut on, Wall Street or whatever, they're pretty driven about that. They're pretty focused. There is this like laser sense of focus. And when you talk to anybody who has like a passion or a drive for something, it's really alluring. You're kind of almost like bent in and you're like, whoa, this person is really impressive. And it's a very attractive thing. And I don't mean just in the sense of, oh, that's so hot. I mean, like, it is attractive, like it attracts people. We are like, wow, we're kind of driven to that flame of passion, if you know what I mean. And so I think trying to cultivate that kind of passion for something in your life, whether it's creativity, whether it is school, your career, whatever you have a drive to do and a passion for something that you love, if you can make that your career goal, if you can tie it in with making money, if you can tie it in with, your daily life, your passion might be your family. And so maybe living close to your family and building that connection, that is your passion. And you're really driven to protect that and to flourish that, make it flourish. That is an incredibly powerful and a very good trait that I see in a lot of successful, particularly gay men, but anybody. The second one is basically just taking care of yourself. It is this idea of your body doesn't have to be like a sacred temple that I don't consume alcohol, I don't smoke, I don't do this, I don't do that. I'm a child of divine purity. You don't have to have that. But in my experience, a lot of these driven, successful, very, impressive people, and particularly gay men, because we unfortunately are incredibly stigmatized and sexualized and used as scapegoats, and we are dismissed very, very quickly in so many categories. And, being able to take care of yourself and your physical appearance, how you hold yourself, your nutrition, getting out and getting active. They say it's what is it, like half an hour or 45 minutes of decent, moderate exercise every day, that's optimal. If you're able to hit those targets, if you're able to find something that you love, whether it is biking through your local park, whether it is walking your dog, whether it is going to the gym, whether it is bodybuilding, whether it is swimming, whatever you do that helps preserve your body and take yourself, into the long run. We're here for the short time, but we're also hopefully here for the long time. And I know it's kind of a stereotype of like gay men like having a skincare routine, taking care of their hair and making sure their nails are all pretty and stuff like that. But these are all things that set you up really good in the long run. And it's something that you can start at any age. I do not care if you are 89 years old. It is so fine to go to a place and be like, hey, I'd like to moisturize. I'd like to figure out how to keep my skin good. I'd like to hydrate more. I'd like to do this. There is never a late moment to start going, I want to take care of my physical and my mental and all of the health that I possess. I want to preserve it for as long as possible. And that is definitely a trait I see in successful people, no matter what you are, no matter who you are, no matter what label you choose to define yourself as. Taking care of your body for the long run, never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. Okay, the next one, this is the third and final one, and then I'll get to the bonus one. Genuine and honest. So you do sometimes meet people who are quite successful on Wall Street or whatever. You meet these people who are, business moguls. They're very successful in their business or whatever, and they are total snakes. You do meet people who are like that. In my opinion, these people are not very interesting. I pretty much dismiss them almost right away because you can tell that they're liars and they're really narcissistic and show off. The really impressive, successful people, whether you are 20 or 80, they are the people who are honest and they're genuine. They genuinely care about others. They're genuinely interested about others and getting to know them. They take the time out of their busy day whenever just to get to know somebody, to help somebody, to be there for somebody. They're always happy. These people are always happy to give advice. And that's why I'm able to communicate with these people, is because I can message them on Instagram or wherever I see them, and they are so happy to take the time out of their day to say, oh my gosh, thank you very much. That's a very nice compliment. You called me a successful person. Here is some wisdom I have. Here are some ideas I have. These people are always open to sharing. They view the more that everyone around them can flourish and do well, that's better for them. They don't view it as a zero-sum game where, oh man, if Tiffany over there is succeeding, I'm losing. They don't see it that way. They see it as Tiffany is rising, so I'm gonna go over and introduce myself and build a relationship, and I'm so interested to see where she's going, and maybe she will teach me something about something that I can do to improve myself or to make myself better. They do not have this ooh, everyone is my competitor, everyone is my enemy. Because in reality, life isn't like that. Life is not a zero-sum game. We can all win. We can all do well. We can all self-improve. We can all be more compassionate. And these people kind of understand that. And so that's kind of the honesty and the willingness to share, the willingness to be open with somebody. And that also ties in with the idea of being genuine, They're not trying to put up some facade. They're not trying to fake it. They're not trying to be this douchey rich boy getting out of a Lamborghini or something. They're being genuine. They are who they are. They tend to be very driven. Like I said, they're very focused on what they want to do. They take care of themselves and they know who they are. And that is a huge part about being genuine and being self-assured and being comfortable in your own skin to say, you know what? I know who I am. I know who I want to be. I know where I'm going. And this is how I'm going to do it. And that, again, like I said before, it is a very attractive trait in terms of, man, I am really interested in this person. This person is really compelling to me. They're clearly on a path. They have a greater vision for their life or the world or their family and friends. And I would like to see where that would be. I would like to see where they go, how far they get. I would like to be part of that journey. That is an incredibly powerful and attractive trait to have. And this video is not really in the context of oh, how do I be more attractive? How do I date? But these are all traits that definitely set you up much better in the dating realm if that's something you're interested in. These three big traits are hugely important in being that top 2% of guys on the market or whatever. If that's something you're interested in, definitely consider some of these things. Maybe do some notes or take some notes about, what goals do you have? What are some ways that you could improve your physical and mental health? Is meditation something you're interested in? Is drinking more water interesting to you? It's really good for your skin. It's great for hydration. All your organs and your body needs it. Am I going to brush my teeth twice a day? There are things that they just seem so little and so useless and pointless, but they do compound and they do make a huge lasting impact. And I genuinely think if you're feeling insecure or unsure about yourself, or you're dealing with bullies, or you're dealing with people in your life who are telling you you're not good enough, implementing some of these things can be a huge positive booster to yourself. You're not doing it to spite these people. You're doing it because you want to be healthier, happier, more focused, more driven. You want to achieve your goals, and that's really important. That ties in with the whole idea of being genuine. You're not out here to make all of their heads roll, although showing up to a reunion or something and making their heads roll isn't necessarily a bad thing. But that's not the goal. The goal is to be a better, well-balanced human being who is there for their friends and family and who is more accepting of themselves and others. That is the goal. This final bonus tip, this is something that I kind of noticed, which was like not very apparent in my conversations with these gay men, but it's something that I kind of picked up on. This is the bonus one. They always leave you wanting more. And you can put that in whatever context you want. You can keep your heads out of the gutter though. But what I noticed, especially when I went on like dates with certain guys, or I just chatted with some guy on Instagram, or whatever it was, whatever the context was, I always left the interaction going, man, I want to do that again. That was so interesting. I wish I'd asked them this question. I wish I'd, stayed at the coffee shop a little bit longer. I wish I'd done this. And I think that is such a good little thing. Like, obviously it's not this huge groundbreaking shift, but leaving people wanting more, saying, oh, I'm sorry, I had a really great time, but I do have to get going. We said we'd meet from 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. I've got to go. I had a great time, but I got to get going. For whatever reason, our brains somehow just like have this longing. You're like, oh man, I wish this lasted longer. I've talked to people who have gone on these like 12-hour dates. Like you go to dinner with somebody and then the dinner turns into a walk and then you end up at their house and blah, 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 blah. I've heard about this stuff happening. And while, people talk about it in the moment as, oh my gosh, it was just such an amazing date. I find that many of these things don't actually go longer. The friends that tell me that they've had like a 24-hour date or a 48-hour date, they just like can't lose the other person. They've got to stay together. I find that these relationships almost never last. And that while it's like this incredible adventure and, oh yeah, we went to a movie and then we did this and we did this and we were out late at night dancing and then we crashed at his place and then we woke up and went for brunch and we did this and we went shopping and we went to the thrift store. While it's really fun in the moment to have this like long extended period with somebody that you've just kind of met or you're getting to know, you don't leave them wanting more. You kind of flood them with yourself. You flood them with the idea of you and who you are and your personality. And then, they kind of just pull away. Whereas I found that always leaving someone wanting more in whatever capacity you are talking about tends to set a really good impression. It tends to say, wow, this person, they're driven. They've got other things to do. They've got a life beyond me. They're doing other things. They're going out being an amazing person. And that is just a very compelling and attractive trait to have. I've noticed this with many people, but this is particular for like gay dating and that kind of thing. This idea that like, man, I really want to do that again. And leaving them sort of in that state of, man, that was really good. I cannot wait for the next one. That is exactly the sweet spot you want, because being too clingy or too aloof and too distant, both of those things are a problem. But if you're somewhere in the middle where it's like, I had such a fun time tonight. Thank you so much. I have to get going, but like, please text me later. That's awesome. That is such a good vibe. And I think a lot of us over text and we over communicate and we over stress and overthink. And so by pulling away just a little bit, but also making sure that the other person acknowledges that you had a great time, that you really enjoy their conversation, you enjoy their friendship, whatever it is, I think that's a very powerful, understated trait in people. So those are my three main traits of successful gay men, with a little bonus in there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think any of these traits are particularly wrong, or if you like them, if you have some kind of interesting anecdote about one of these. Maybe you went on a date with somebody who did not take care of themselves and you just thought, maybe not for me. So yeah, please let me know. I'm very interested. I hope I'm not like too off on these. Sometimes I think about these things for a while and then I put it out there and everyone's like, what? What do you mean? You are so out to lunch. And sometimes I am. So sorry if I am. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day, week, month, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow.